Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
गुज़श्ता खुतबे में
Huzur says that
हज़रत
in the
मसीह
last
इस्लाम के हवाले से
sermon, last Friday sermon, I mentioned that with reference to the promised Messiah ﷺ, that if a person abandons all types of bias and rancor and leaving all that thing, if a person prays devotedly to Allah Almighty in his prayers, then before 46 days Allah Almighty will open up the truth upon him. If the people are very pious and pure in their hearts, and their hearts must be clean from all type of rancors. Otherwise, he has said that those people who have rancor in their hearts and they are anger, or they do not have the pious thinking, then those people will always say that Allah Almighty has not guided us in the dreams, or He has told us something against you. But anyway, those who are with pure hearts, those who pray, these people definitely get the guidance from Allah the Almighty. Many such people are there who were given the guidance during the period of the promised Messiah, during his lifetime. Through the dreams, Allah Almighty guided them to the right path. In one meeting it was mentioned that from Lahore, a person has written to the promised Messiah that in the dream, regarding the promised Messiah ﷺ, he was told that he is true. And that person has an attachment with a peer, with a religious leader who used to remain within in close proximity of the grave of the Hadhrat Bakhsh. And when this thing was mentioned to him, and then he said that Hadhrat Mirza Sahib's progress for such a long time is the proof of his truth. Then there was another beggar sitting there, and he said that let us even ask about it. And next day he told that Allah Almighty has told that Mirza is our friend. Perhaps Maulana, that was word would have been said, that he is our and your friend and master. And the promised Messiah ﷺ, as he listened to that, he said that nowadays the dreams are very many. It appears that Allah Almighty wishes that through the dreams He should inform the people. The angels of Allah Almighty, they roam about in every place as they fly, as the small insects, they fly in the sky. And then he mentioned the account of somebody who intended to write a book against him, that in the dream the Holy Prophet ﷺ told him that you are going to write a book against him, and the fact is that Mirza Sahib is a true person. Allah the Almighty, those people who are right-minded people, Allah Almighty, in order to stop them from bad ways, Allah Almighty gives the guidance. He wanted to write a book, but perhaps some of his good action was very pleasing to Allah. So in the dream he was stopped from writing a book like that. So this dispensation, or this series of dreams, which started during the period of the promised Messiah, it continues even today. The pious people, Allah Almighty always guides the pious people, and when they submit to Allah Almighty for guidance, sometime it happens that people do not know, but Allah Almighty is giving the guidance that the promised Messiah has come. And sometime the people have in their mind that, but they seek guidance from Allah Almighty. So then Allah Almighty guides them. From Allah the Almighty, regarding the truth of the promised Messiah, one incident of a person being guided to that is from Mali, who is a country in West Africa. There, this thing happened to one person. The missionary writes that Mustafa Bialu, one night he saw the dream that he is in a very beautiful house in paradise, and on one side of the house the water is flowing, and there is a picture of a white color person who is wearing a turban. And he says that some time after the dream, he went to the house of his friend. So then he saw the dream picture of the same saintly person, and when he asked about that person, then he was told that this is Imam Mahdi. So that person related his dream, and he wanted to sort more information about Ahmadiyyat. And then Ahmadi friend said that today we are having a monthly meeting, so you please come along with me, let's go together. And there you will be able to ask any type of question from the missionary. So he attended the meeting, and after the meeting he announced that he is going to become an Ahmadi. And also he said that all my siblings and family members, they should also accept the reality, and I will inform everyone, and tomorrow I will do the bath along with all the people. And when these people gathered the next day, and so he related his dream about Ahmadiyyat, and also he asked other people to do the bath. So all the brothers and sisters and family members, they denounced him, and they said that there is no need for you to follow this new religion. At that he replied that he is definitely going to do the bath. And he says that after the Fajr prayer, when he lied down for a while and he fell asleep, and then he saw in the dream that the promised Messiah ﷺ, he is pointing out to certain verses, the verses of Surah Hijr from verse number 30. And after he got up, he came to the family, and he asked the interpretation of this dream. Then the Murabbi Sahib took out that reference, those verses in which the creation of Hadhrat Adam and of the prostration performed by the angels, and the rejection of Satan was mentioned. So he said the interpretation of the dream is that your attitude is similar to the attitude of the angels. And he did the bath immediately, and he joined the community. By the grace of Allah, he is very active member of the community. Similarly, in Ivory Coast, Gia is a city, and a new convert there, Koneyama is a new convert there. He, on the basis of his dream, he narrates the incident of his accepting of Ahmadiyyat. He said that I saw in the dream that I went to the mosque to pray, and what I see there, that the mosque is full of worshippers. And I spread my prayer mat on one side. Suddenly a person came and he asked that to which denomination you are related in Islam. And he snatched away my prayer mat from him, and I told him that I'm Ahmadi Muslim. So then he tells me that you go to the Ahmadiyya mosque and pray there. So after seeing this dream, he was quite satisfied, and he joined the community after that. Similarly, one lady in Yemen, Jamila Sahiba by name, the incident of his acceptance of Ahmadiyyat, she narrates that well before my introduction to the Ahmadiyya Jamaat, I was in Saudi Arab, where I was inclined to Sufism, and the writing of the Hazrat Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani, I liked it very much, and on his prescribed way of going into isolation and pray, that was very satisfactory to me, and I felt very much spiritual experience. And he mentioned that she used to do the bath, and sometimes hundreds of times Surah Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi and Surah Ikhlas After reciting that for 1,000 each, she used to do istighfar and durood. And this is the way of those religious leaders. So she was doing like that. So one night she saw a dream that a very big star, like a moon, is coming on the earth, and then he's walking around, and through the roof it comes into our house. I was very much surprised, and then I woke up, and after a few days I saw 5 more stars. Those who were in row, they were walking on the earth, but they were smaller than the star which she saw before that. It's not very clear to this is not clear to Jamila Sahaba. Perhaps she would have seen the promised Messiah as the first star, and then the caliphs after that. So then she increased watching MTA. She got increased in her interest in Ahmadiyyat, and she wanted more information, and she was finally convinced that he is the Imam Mahdi. And during that period, I heard a program, listened a program of Hiwarul Ahmadi, Al-Hiwar, and I was told that those people who are searching after the truth, they should pray to Allah. And then she says that after performing 2 rakats of prayer, I slept, and the same day she saw that he is in a crowd in Makkatul Mukarramah, and people standing on their toes, and they are trying to see someone. And at that time somebody says very loudly, and he says that, "Oh people, your Imam has come, the Imam Mahdi has come." And she says that I started looking in that direction, and until that Hadhrat Imam Mahdi alayhi salam appeared on an elevated place. His face was shining like a full moon, and there was a special feeling in the eyes. And when I looked at her face closely, then it was exactly the face of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam and Imam Mahdi, which I saw on MTA. And suddenly I started crying in the dream. And when I was going through this dream, at that time my husband was awake. She was asleep, and she was seeing this dream. And the husband woke her up, that you are crying with great passion. And when I got up, my eyes were filled with tears. And after this dream, I was convinced that this is true, and this person is the Imam of the age. So I decided to accept her. She's from Yemen, and the people say that the condition of Yemen is very bad these days, and the paths, sea routes and the air routes, they have been stopped, and every type of help is being stopped on the way, and innocent children and ladies and elderly people, because of the shortage of food and the shortage of medicines, the people are dying there. The Muslims, they are killing other Muslims. And this is the reason, because they do not believe the Imam who has come. Please pray for these people, that Allah Almighty may change their condition, and they may be able to live in freedom, and Allah Almighty have mercy upon these people. Some pious-minded people, in their hearts, they understand the Ahmadiyyat as true, and despite that they are not able to do the Bai'at. How Allah the Almighty enables these people to come and join the community, how Allah Almighty guides them to this path. Regarding that, Mali, the Muallim, writes that Abdul Halim Jabi Sahib, in the last, he passed away in the last few days of Ramadan. He saw in the one dream that he is traveling with this friend who has died, and his friend says in the dream that the community you are entering into, that is a correct Jamaat. I am also joining the same community. Abdul Hijabi Sahib, he used to listen to our radio regularly, and he was Ahmadi in heart, but he has not done the Bai'at. But after this dream, he phoned and I live far away from this radio station, and I listen to that tabligh and programs, and I have seen the stream. So accept my bayat today. From today I am an Ahmadi. And then a person from Egypt, Mahmoud Gharib Sahib, he says that since 9 years I am listening a very powerful voice, and that is always echoing in my ears. But whenever I heard, I used to get frightened. When in 2010, and when I was introduced to MT Al Arabiya, so then Sharif Oda Sahib and Musa Asad Oda Sahib and some of the extracts when she listened, when he listened from these people, then he heard that this is the voice which he used to listen in the dream, and he started watching MTA with great interest, and these poems of the Promised Messiah and his writings that greatly affected me, and I used to imagine the face, beautiful face of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Then always the face of the Promised Messiah used to come in front. One day I was watching MTA, and along with that, the picture of the Promised Messiah was on the screen. I told that person, I addressed him and said that I swear in the name of Allah that you please tell me that are you true in your claim. And after that I went to my work. In the evening when I came back, and I switched on the television on MTA. So on that, Hadhrat Massih Maud's extract was being written that Ya Qawmi inni min Allah, O my people, I am from Allah. Wa Ashhadu Rabbi, and I bear witness to Allah. Allah Almighty bring the witness that I am from Allah. I am from Allah, Him. And I stand make my Allah as my witness. And I say that I am from Allah. As soon as I listened, he said that I fell on my knees, and in a very passionate way. And on the television, I started kissing the picture of the Promised Messiah, and he said, Alayka salam, peace be on you, peace be on you. So all these things happened very quickly, and I did the bath immediately. A person from Jordan, Jamil Sahib, he says, relating the incident of his bath, that in 1992, when the Muslim Ummah were confronting with so many trials, I used to think day and night that all these things are being done with the Khair Ummat, the best of the Ummah. And despite this fact that they are the best, the Muslims, they are suffering from degradation and division, and they are fighting with one another. Then a voice used to come from within, that our faith is not like that. Certainly there is something which the Ummah is ignoring. And one night I saw in the dream that I am standing alone on the path, which is very leveled and good. And a modern Mercedes car comes, and on the person on the driver, next to driver, and he asked me to start the car and drive it. So it was put into my heart that I am sitting with Hadhrat Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. I was very much frightened. The car started, and then on the way, there were so many people with black faces, and on the both sides of the road, they were standing there. And these people were carrying certain small weapons, and then they started firing, but we didn't no bullet hit us, and we reached the destination safely. And in the dream, I stopped my car, and Hadhrat Mahdi, Imam Mahdi says that you get off, and he says that open the boot of the car, and there I see a very beautiful wooden box in which there is a 5-year-old baby, and he starts looking at me. Well, I was very happy with this room. That certainly there is a message in that from God Almighty, and I interpreted the dream that new car means a new life, and those people with black faces, who are trying to hit us, attacking us, so these are the bad actions of these people, and they are not going to be successful. And in the beautiful box, the secrets are kept there, and 5-year-old child, there will be that certain things will come to surface after 5 years. And it's a strange thing that whatever interpretation I make, I understood the interpretation of that. It appeared in this way. And after the introduction to with the Jamaat, a new journey of my life started. And during the blessed period of the Khilafat Khamsa, the 5th Khilafat, I accepted Ahmadiyyat, and I was the only one. And as soon as I announced that Imam Mahdi has come, and my friends and foes, all the people became my opponent, and people started issuing edict against me. Then I prayed to Allah Almighty that in order to complete the journey, grant me some helpers. So Allah Almighty blessed me such good people whom I did not know before, and they are the people who are really my friends and close friends. And then another person, Muhammad Abdullah Sahib, who is from Syria, nowadays in Canada. He says that I was doing a job of salesman, and among my customers, his son, I got introduced with him. He was a young Ahmadi, and when the introduction increased, then he introduced to me the basic fundamental beliefs of Ahmadiyyat, and he also gave me the Arabic translation of the philosophy of the teachings of Islam. I was very much impressed, and the very logical things greatly impressed me. Then for 1 year I continued to read the books about Ahmadiyya, and also I watched MT Al Arabiya. After the study of 1 year and reading the books and watching the programs and comparing it with others, then the desire of joining the Ahmadiyya community was there in my heart. But regarding my physical cleanliness, I did not consider myself worth to join this community. And in order to reach that status, I was not aware of the ways of doing that. So I asked that friend of mine that please let me meet some Ahmadis. So he invited some Ahmadis at his home, and the meeting was arranged there. And one of them is that one of them, the friends who came. Then I realized when talking about the spiritual matters, I felt as if my spiritual thirst is being quenched. And I was very satisfied that Allah Almighty is not will destroy me. Then I started doing istikhara. And regarding my job, I was in Damashq when my wife was in Halab along with other family members. So I started istikhara, seeking guidance from Allah. And then I asked that if you see any dream during these days, please do let me know. And after a few days, he says that one of the night that proved to be Laylatul Qadr, the night of decree for me. And I saw a very good dream. I saw a very pious relative of mine. He said that, showed me a paper and said that this is from the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In that paper it was written, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So when I got up, I was very happy. And this ayat karima, this verse of the Quran, Udkhulu ha bisalamin, that you enter in peace. Enter into it with peace. So that was on my tongue. That without any fear, you enter into among these people. And this was a clear message for me to join the community. Although this dream, this also indicates that we should convey the Islam to the promised Messiah. But I did not realize that. But I was very sure that this is the reply to my prayer of istikhara. And that is why I did the bath. And then there is a lady from Syria. She says, relating the incident of her bath, that before knowing the Ahmadiyyat, me and my sister, we joined a community considering it to be right. But then we realized that in the name of Sharia, they have made their own Sharia. Then I cried in my prayers to Allah and requested that, oh Allah, please tell me, where is your right faith? and which is the community which has got your support? And continuously I prayed for a few days, and after that I felt that as if a very bright light has come into me. And looking at that condition, she says that I intensified my prayer. And because of the crying and weeping, I could not utter words. I saw at that time that a person came and he stood by my side, and I thought that he is showing some kindness to me. So when I saw that person, I said in my heart that who is this person, but no reply was there. And next day again I wept intensively, and I could not talk, and again that condition overpowered me. And again I saw the same person with me, and third day again the same thing was repeated. So then I supplicated to Allah Almighty in loud voice that please tell me who is this person who is so kind to me and why he is shown to me. And the reply to that question came to me after a few days. It so happened that I was sitting with my auntie and her sister, and we were talking that now the time is there that the Messiah and Mahdi should come. And we think that from somewhere the announcement from the TV will be there that Messiah has come, Mahdi has come, and people will run to him. But in some areas, even the mullahs, they say that watching TV is haram, is unlawful, is not permissible. So how are we going to see the television? After long discussion between them, so when disobeying the verdict of the mullahs, we brought a TV set and watching in the television. Then I saw a dream which changed my life. I saw that I am in a huge area, open field, and there are I saw some people coming in a car, and on the roof there was a satellite dish, and the car comes in the middle of the open field and stops, and they take out some equipment from there and keeping it on the ground. And one person is wearing Arabic dress and his face is bright, and certainly that person comes from the middle and stands close to me, and she says, "Sister, what are you doing here?" And instead of replying to him, I asked them that what are you doing? So they said that we are opening a new television channel. Would you like to see that? I said, why not? I will definitely see that. Watch that. And after that I opened my eyes, and next day I bought the television, and everything was set very soon. And I, after watching, surfing through various channels, then I realized that there is a channel, that this is a challenge of a different age. So I left all other channels. I started watching that channel. That channel was MTA. And at that time the program Al-Hiwar al-Mubashir, that was on. And after watching this program repeatedly, my eyes would go to the presenter of the program as if I have seen him somewhere. So then I realized that I saw the same person whom I saw in the open field, and I promised that I am going to watch the television, and remembering my promise, I was completely dedicated to this channel. One day, regularly, I was watching the program as my routine, and there was the name of Imam Mahdi and Massih Maud. So I was attentive, and suddenly the picture appeared on the television screen. And underneath Massih Maud, Imam Mahdi and Massih Maud, the wording was written. So my interest increased, and then there was the very first sentence of the quotation that was presented there. That was the "Wallahi inni min Allah." By God, I am from Allah. And I have not told a lie. And it means that by Allah, I am from Allah. By the name of Allah, I say that I am from Him. And I have not fabricated anything. And certainly those who tell a lie, they are disappointed and defeated. So then I realized that this is the statement of a true person who is very true in his claim. And this is Massih Maud and the Imam Mahdi. And during the quotation, when the picture for the second time was seen, then when I looked at it, I was very much surprised to see that this is the same person which I have already seen in my dream earlier on. Then I prayed to Allah Almighty, crying and weeping, that, "Oh my Allah, where is your right religion, and which is the community which has got your support and succor?" And at that time, this person came to me to help me. And when I looked at this person, and by looking at that, I said in my heart that I don't know who this person is. But now I saw this person on the TV. Now I have understood the meaning and the interpretation of that dream. Allah Almighty told me at that time that this is the person whose community is helped by Allah Almighty. And this is the community representing the true faith. And she says that, crying, I addressed this tasweer that now you are defending the cause of Islam. You are replying to the allegations of the Christians. You are the right Messiah and Mahdi. I endorse you. I accept you. At that time, I did not know at that time that the Bai'at of promised Messiah was essential. I told my friends regarding this channel. So most of the people did not take it very seriously. So by my aunt and her daughter, they took it seriously and they decided to do the Bai'at. And after that, my mother and two other sisters and other, Majan Sahiba is the name of that. So all of them, they did the Bai'at later on. And there is a person from Egypt, Saeed Sahib. He says that before the introduction to Ahmadiyyat, I saw the dream that I saw myself in an open field where a beautiful tent is pitched up and there are so many people standing guard. And one of the guards, he said that, how do you have come here? I said, I do not know. But you please tell me who is in this tent. And the guard said that in this tent, the Holy Prophet ﷺ is there. I was very much happy. And also I was very much afraid because I did not realize it fully that how I have come to this great place where the Holy Prophet ﷺ is present. During that period, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, I was able to see his listen to his voice. And there was voice very beautiful of the Holy Prophet ﷺ that you are respecting me, showing me respect. But why you have left Shema and get ready that she's coming. And the door opened and the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he comes out wearing a sheet around him, and there is another lady with that name. She comes, and all the guards they welcome this lady making rose. At that time, up to that time, I did not believe in dreams, and this lady with the name of Shema coming in the dream, I thought perhaps this is just a sort of a ordinary dream or man-made dream. And after that, this dream, and anyway, he says that I did not pay much attention to this dream, and I did not mention it to anybody because I was not very much convinced. And I also felt that the coming of this lady is just unnecessary, and there was no need of mentioning it. But then I saw another dream, which was very similar to the previous dream. I saw a person with wheatish color, and I asked, who is he? I was told that he is the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and after that he died and he was buried. And then I saw that there is a pile of silver coins, and the people are putting in buckets all these coins upon his grave. And again, I did not pay any attention because I did not believe in dreams, and I did not talk to anyone. But after these above, they mentioned these dreams, they compelled me to think that in both the dreams I saw the Holy Prophet ﷺ, but the personalities which I saw, they were different. So sometime I thought that the face of the Holy Prophet ﷺ is one. So if my dreams are right, so then why is it that the appearance is different? And he says that after a few days, when I was in a bookshop where I used to work, I was cleaning the books over there. I was dusting and I was looking at old newspapers, and I saw that there was a picture on the one page of the face of the newspaper. There was a picture of a child, but the name of Shema, and it was the same lady, the girl whom I saw. And when I asked about the story of this about this girl, so then I was told that this girl got killed in a terrorist activity some time ago. And because I do not read newspaper much, so I didn't know, and I didn't know about this girl and her death. But looking at the picture of Shema, so then I realized that my first dream is right. And to see that lady, that girl into the dream, that was to make me realize that this is a true dream. And then I also realized that like the first dream, the second dream is also true. But I was not understanding that if the second dream is right, so then why the appearance of the Holy Prophet ﷺ is different. After several days, I was surfing through various channels, that suddenly MTA appeared, and the program was there. Al-Hiwarul Mubashir was being shown there. There it was being mentioned about the death of Hadhrat Isa. I was not much educated, nor I have much religious knowledge, so I was very much surprised listening to these things. After some time, Sharif Father Sahib, he mentioned in one program that we take a gap, a break, and then we listen to the poem composed by the promised Messiah, and along with that the picture of somebody was being shown. That was a matter of a great surprise. It was exactly the picture of the same person whom I saw in the second dream, and I was told that this is the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So after understanding all this thing, I did not mention it to anyone, and along with my wife, very quietly we continued watching MTA. After 1 month, I asked my wife, what do you think about this community? She said that this community is true and real. And after that, then I explained her the detail of this dream. I saw the promised Messiah in that, and I was told in the dream that he is the Holy Prophet ﷺ, because he was really the true lover and the true follower of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So sometime when he saw like this, so that means that his coming was the fulfillment of the second advent of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and this is what he had said. And for several months we continued watching MTA, but we did not the bath. One day the wife told me that, are you not ready to do the bath? I said, yes, I'm ready. And after 2 weeks, she asked again that, are you not ready to do the bath? I said, yes, I'm ready. So she said that if you don't go for doing the bath, if you don't go, then I will go alone. So after this emphatic statement of my wife, I contacted the members of the community and filled the bath form and became an Ahmadi. Sometime the ladies, they become the means of giving courage to the men and become the means of guidance. And Massih from Ivory Coast, a missionary, says that in one village, Kachalu, these people requested that people should come for preaching there, and our members reached this village, and after Isha prayer, the program of Tabligh, up to 10 o'clock, the program went on, and there was question answer session that continued up to 3 o'clock in the morning. And Muslim, Christians and idolaters, large number of people there, and people think that Africans perhaps accept very quickly. So 5-6 hours the meeting continued, and they also asked the questions. And the chief of the village, Gamande by name, he also listened to the speech, and there were 160 people joined the community as a result of this Tabligh sitting. He says that in the morning at 8 o'clock, when we went to the house of the chief to meet him, so then the new converts of the village were also along with us, At that, the chief said, related the dream that he saw in 1914, 2 years ago, that these people are sitting at their home, and two plain white color, they come, and one goes away from the village, and the other one lands near a tree. And the people go upstairs into the plane, and these people give them a beautiful book, and when they look at that, it converts into gold. And then with the voice of the azan, he woke up, and he related this dream to the scholars, but nobody could properly interpret that. One mullah said, the mullah said, that you have seen the gold in it, which is not good for you. So 1 kilo gold you give me. So if it is not possible for you to give me 1 kilo gold, so the best is that you give me 10 or 20,000 francs, so I will do something for you. So others said that you give 2 sheep as sadaqah. And then our Ahmadi interpreted this, that these 2 cars, they indicate the 2 religions. And the Amir Sahib and myself have the white cars. Amir Sahib came in the white car, but he went back. So my interpretation of the ladder through which they went up, so that means that you are going to do the effort to find out the true religion, because in the evening till morning you listened. And it is also mentioned there that the Massih and Mahdi would distribute the treasure. So these are the treasures and the books which have been given to you. So after listening to that dream, the chief jumped up, and he immediately announced that he is going to abandon the partnership with Allah Almighty, and he is going to accept Islam. And from France, one lady, Nadia Begsaba, says that my husband was Ahmadi before, but I did not do the Bai'at. And after the persecution of Ahmadis some years ago, I saw and I was very much affected. I was compelled to think. I listened to the Friday sermons of the Khalifa. So then the Islamic teaching got into my heart, and then I started praying that, oh my Allah, please guide me. And during that period, I saw a dream that I am in the Masjid Mubarak in France, which is in France, and I am sitting there, and my late father comes, and he gives me a copy of the Holy Quran as gift, and along with the Holy Quran, he also gives a document. And after that, when I accepted the Ahmadiyyat, then the document given to me by my father, that was the Bai'at form. And because of that, I immediately did the Bai'at and joined the community. Rizwan Sahib from Aljazair says that after introduction with the Ahmadiyyat, so I am completely dedicated to MTA, and my family members wanted to stop me. And sometime in the beginning, they were simply advising me not to see it, but later on it became a sort of pressure, and they asked me emphatically not to see this channel. But I did istikhara. One night I saw in the dream that Hadhrat Massih Maud, all the 5 caliphs, they came to my house, and I'm sitting in front of them, among them, and the brief dream was there. It was a clear message for me. When I mentioned this dream with my family member, they said this is an ordinary dream because you are thinking about this community all the time. Therefore, you have seen this dream. So I listened to them, but I started thinking that is it not possible that if I call upon one person and another person comes instead. So if this is not possible, so then is it possible that I am seeking guidance from Allah Almighty, and regarding his guidance, the dream that I see, that may be from Satan. So anyway, I did not believe in what the family member said, and I did the Bai'at after that. So these are some examples which I have narrated. Huzur says there are so many incidents like that. Allah Almighty, these newcomers, Allah Almighty make their faith stronger and increase them in their devotion and dedication. And also those who are already Ahmadis, may Allah increase them in their faith and dedication.